Hey everyone, I've done quite a bit of work on the layout, enough just to warrant a layout update. So I've torn up a lot of this ballast, and that's because I'm making an entire new mixture of ballast, and I want to reuse this ballast, and having just the ballast that was here before wouldn't match the new mixture. So I have it in this salt container, and I don't know if it'll focus, but it's just a mixture of a bunch of different kinds of ballast. It's a mixture of the store-bought medium ballast, which you can see some residue from there. It's a mixture of my homemade ballast, which is right there, the darker stuff, and just some larger store-bought ballast, and some store-bought sand, and some store-bought dirt. And it made a decent amount of this stuff. Probably enough to do almost the entire layout. I'm not too sure, but we'll see about that. Uh, a little ballast goes a long way, I've noticed, if you spread it out enough. Also, another little tip is to put the glue down before you lay down the ballast. And another thing here is when you're mixing ballast, making your own mix, try not to mix too many things together, but mix enough things together that it looks varied. Maybe go by the line side, while you're rail fanning and just take a few pictures of the ballast there. Or if you're modeling a specific area, look up pictures of, railroad track in that area. And you might get a good idea of, what minerals they used or what kind of rock they used. So that's the ballast, but I did a lot of work over there, and I'll go over there in a second. I'll show you that. Alright, so I'm over here, and this is the area where I've done the most work. So as you can see, I actually laid down some track here. I'm using good old tubular track. Uh, this is the only kind of track I really had left other than that nasty fast track stuff that, I've had really bad experiences with, and I do not want to use that on my layouts. So basically the layout of this is basically point-to-point switching layout. It's just got the main line right here, and then I don't know if you consider this to be the main line because it's a little longer, but I actually would consider this to continue on as the main line. We have a siding here, and that crane is going here. And as for the rails, if you're going to be setting up one of these cranes, a tip: if you take apart some of this tubular track, you can use the rails. And you only need two pieces to do a length like this, which would be, your normal length or a little more than your normal length for having a gantry crane. But it works pretty well. The track isn't secured down, so it doesn't really work too good. But once I get that track either nailed or glued down, probably nailed down, everything should be good. But, I should be able to, bring the train out and then bring it up here, drop off the cars. I don't know if I'll put in some uncoupling track. Of course, I probably will. And I can use the crane just to unload stuff. I wish it was a remote-controlled crane, but those are expensive, and this is what I got. So, you also may notice I wired up these lights. That took pretty much an entire day to do. And when you turn the lights off in the room, they fill up this area. They might, bleed over into other areas, but it's mostly this area. And one thing I'm worried about is, like, how much space this is going to take up, because I wanted to take up a decent amount of space, but not so much that it's just the entire middle section of the layout. Because I'm planning on leaving this whole section as the downtown, and this is going to be the industrial area. Because, of course, you have to have some industry on a model train layout. Well, you don't necessarily have to, but it definitely adds to the experience. Alright, so I actually have this track wired up with a temporary transformer. So I'm going to throttle up and just show you how everything works. Let me just get that switch flipped. You just go down there. And then if you want to, let's just pull up to the switch. And I'll show you. Yeah, the track isn't put together all the way, so, it just kind of has some problems with that. But I have this switch wired up, and for the longest time, I did not know how to wire up these switches. But eventually I was able to figure it out. And, I looked online, there are almost no diagrams that are clear that tell you how to wire these things up. So, Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I'll definitely do a lot more work on this layout. Bye.